Can you believe that it's already almost October? Where does the time go? Happy Monday, everybody. It's your friend Ryan Rolfe with the DSM Sold team at Keller Williams Legacy Group here in Des Moines in central Iowa. And it's time for another episode of Monday Market Update. So let's jump in, talk about what's going on in the real estate space. We are going to spend most of this week's episode talking about how 2025 is shaping up to be a lot like 2019. So if you remember what the 2019 market looked like, there's a lot of similarities. First off, inventory. We've got, above 4,000 homes on the market. As of yesterday, we had just over 4,300 homes on the market. So we haven't hit that number in quite some time. And mortgage rates, while they did come up a little bit from where they had been before the Federal Reserve lowered their benchmark rate, because remember, that rate doesn't specifically change anything with on the real estate side with mortgages. That's off of treasury bonds. And so the speculation before and after is why we tend to see rate increases or decreases around the time that the Federal Reserve has their meetings. So for those of you that are looking, we're around 6.3%. You still certainly can find some rates that are lower than that. And very likely, hopefully what's going to happen is that rates will, since the Fed decision has happened, rates will kind of trend back to, maybe getting us right around 6% or into the high fives. So time will tell on that. As I mentioned already, we are very close with what 2019 looked like. So that was pre-COVID. That was a good year. We sold over 14,000 homes as a market. So we're going to meet that again here this year. The pending sales overall are nearing 2024 levels, and in some periods they've approached that 2019 pace, which means we're kind of back to a more normal market. That's what I would consider the market currently compared to 2018, 2019 when I got licensed. Things were still moving, but it was a more normal market. Things maybe took a little bit longer to sell, but it still wasn't, things weren't sitting for months and months, right? So days on market overall have been longer this year versus last year. But months of inventory has entered a balanced market overall. So if you're looking at everything, now that's new construction condo townhomes, resale, single family and resale condo townhomes. That's encompassing everything in the central Iowa market. If we're still looking at resale homes, that is still in a seller's market, inching up to an even market. But an even market just means that it favors both buyers and sellers. So you're getting the best of both worlds as a buyer and a seller. Things are still going to move. There might be more negotiations, so you should be prepared for that, both on the buying side and the selling side. But buying a home is very doable, and selling your home is also very doable. Again, it comes down to how you're presented and how you stand out against your competition. So good news all around. Closed sales year to date are pretty close right now to that 2019 figure. So again, that was just over 14,000. So likely I think we'll hit that 14,000 number before the end of this year. And mortgage interest rates are certainly higher than they were in 2019. We had 3.7% interest rates at the same time. Wouldn't that be great? But I don't think we're going to see that again. Overall, the good news is the market the homes are still selling, the market's still moving. Interest rates, that plays a key role in buyer activity. So likely, my thought is that if hopefully what's going to happen is that treasury bonds, the trading of those ends up with rates coming down, which would be good for buyers and also good for sellers, because if you're selling, you're likely probably buying as well. So let's end today's episode with a weekend update. This weekend, we saw 183 new homes come on the market. 128 homes went into pending or under contract status, and 100 homes sold and closed. So that's just over a 3-day period, tracking the weekend numbers. So stay tuned for upcoming episodes. Next week will be more about the end of month September, and we'll also be in quarter 4 already, if you can believe it. I feel like just yesterday it was January 1st, and here we are approaching the holidays. Wow. Thanks again, as always, to Les Solgrove with Simply Des Moines Stats. He's a great resource. This is typically where I'll get all of the content for this video and then add in content based on what we're seeing with our clients in the market. So thanks again, Les, for all that you do for the Des Moines real estate agents. And have an amazing week, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.